Hiya, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting like a really Canadian accent. But
Oh,
you
really? How come?
think because you've lived there for so long, I was just expecting that, but no, it's so
Yeah. Go back every now and again just to get a wee dose of my accent back. So,
So when and why did you start Highland dancing?
okay. So I was adopted when I was 5, and I went over to Canada with my mum and dad. I guess I was mimicking some of the dancers dancing while my mum was judging, and came back home, and that was it. That was how I started. So I think maybe it would have been 5.5 or so. So yeah, that was how I started dancing.
So you've been a massive inspiration to so many dancers, kind of in your era, and then now still to this day, people still look up to you. I was just wondering, who was that person for you?
Well, I was really lucky that I had quite a few male influences growing up. Like I was able to see Gregor Bowman competing, Derek Mitchelson, Gareth Mitchelson. But my biggest inspiration would have been Jacqueline Smith. But that was only because I got to be in some classes with her and I got to see how hard she had to work to be able to beat the boys, kind of thing. Like it was quite a big thing when she beat those three. So yeah, definitely Jacqueline Smith was my biggest inspiration.
How does it feel being a male dancer in such a female-dominated sport?
That so there's good things and bad things to it. Well, I would argue that it was in my time, the males that were competing, it was more dominated by the males, results wise. But growing up, it was quite challenging trying to be able to compete with the girls because they had generally nicer legs, nicer feet, and it was more trying to be able to match that as well as have a bit of power to my dancing. Um, all in all, like I guess I enjoyed the social aspect, and it was just I had my mates at home, I had mates at school, so it was just competing is competing to me. So it didn't matter whether it was female or male. So
To win one world championship is a massive deal, and you've won four. Is there a year in particular that stands out to you?
okay, so they were all special in their own way. Like to win your first worlds, like I won my first when I was 15, and that was Gregor Bowman's last. So to be able to get to be up on the stage with him, competing in his last world championship was pretty amazing. Plus, you had to throw in Colin Rintamaki in there as well. So that was a pretty cool Champions Fling to be a part of. When I was 16, that was the last year they did the part where you had to qualify for each dance in the morning prior to the afternoon. And because if you'd kicked your sword, you weren't able to compete in the sword in the afternoon. So I think at that time it was Gemma Bailey and I were the only two in our group in the juniors qualification that got through all four dances. So it kind of gave you a little extra leeway or confidence going into the afternoon. So that was pretty cool. When I was 17, I would have said it was more of a relief, just because it's hard going in as a defending champion. There's a bit of an expectancy on you to win as a 17-year-old if you've won as 16. And then in 04, it was cool because Rachel McClean won the juniors, and David Wilton, my stepbrother, won the juveniles. So I kind of felt like I was temporarily holding on to the torch in between Gregor Bowman and David Wilton at that point. So that was, they're all pretty special.
So, excluding the World Championships, what do you consider your biggest achievement?
I think if whether it be in football or dancing, my biggest achievement is getting satisfaction from knowing I've influenced some change. So whether it be a dancer is working hard and correcting the corrections that they have, or one of my footballers has got a scholarship to a university, like that, I would say those are my...
Just kind of going back to Worlds for a moment. You featured
Yeah.
in the BBC documentary, That Fling Thing, in
Yeah.
1996. I was just wondering, was it stressful having cameras following you around on like the biggest championship of the year?
Well, they'd kind of followed us the whole summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like even to the point they'd come to my house, and they even filmed my mates and I playing football, but they never showed any of that. Actually, one of my mates who'd broken his leg still had his cast on. He was so desperate to be involved, and then they never showed any of it. But no, I didn't feel any pressure because I was kind of focused. I did, however, when you know you've not danced well,
Mm-hmm.
like when you've not done your best. I didn't like when cameras would follow you around at those points, because that's a time where you need to go and get refocused and speak to your teacher. And at that time, it really painted my mum, who was my teacher at the time, in a bad light, because she looked like she was mad at me after the dance. And yeah, it felt like that was a wee bit unfair, but that adds to the drama of television. So yeah, it was a good experience. It was a good life experience for the future, and yeah.
Throughout your competitive dance career, did you face any obstacles that you had to really overcome?
There are plenty of obstacles. No matter who you are, there's always some obstacles. I think in 2003, I wasn't quite mentally there, and I wasn't enjoying dancing. I wasn't enjoying competing. I really just didn't want to be there. And at Worlds, I got one placing out of 4 dances. So to then get over that hurdle of not quite mentally being there to go on and win in 04 was quite a hurdle. On top of having a stress fracture that year. I found out about 10 days before Worlds that I had a stress fracture, and there was a certain percentage of it breaking while dancing. And me being me, I was kind of like, screw it, just go ahead. If it breaks, then I've got a year to recoup for next year, kind of thing. So yeah, we all have hurdles to overcome, and I'm pretty sure any dancer out there has definitely had to go through at least one injury while competing. I'm sure you have yourself had some injuries you've had to overcome.
As a competitive dancer, what did you have to do to keep yourself motivated?
I wanted to be an adult world champion, so that was it. That's you either have that competitive drive or you don't, and it's up to you how you choose to go for it.
What would you consider your best non-competitive memory brought through Highland Dance?
So it would have been 1998 after Worlds. I got to dance at Amsterdam. Well, it was called Amsterdam Arena back then. It's now the Johan Cruyff Arena. It's where Ajax play. So getting to dance there in front of 60,000 people was pretty cool. Gregor danced there as well that year. So yeah.
What was that for?
It was the 60th anniversary of a Dutch magazine. There was a whole bunch of different performers there. It was really. They had a stage in the middle of the field, and the field was covered, and there was actually, it held more people than a football match normally would. So it's kind of cool to say you performed in front of more people than Ajax do. So, yeah.
You've had the opportunity to teach workshops kind of all over the world, and I was wondering, is there a particular event that you've taught at that kind of stands out to you?
So I taught at the gathering in South America. It was in Buenos Aires, Argentina. that was really cool because it was really neat to see how they try to promote Scottish culture, and it was really enjoyable. It wasn't stressful. It was away from the type of environment we would be used to. Um, so yeah, it was a very relaxed environment. The people were amazing, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'm aware that dancing wasn't your only sport. You were very successful at football as well, and I'm just wondering, do you feel football helped your dancing in any way?
Absolutely not. If anything, when I was playing football, and like, because I'd taken a little bit, so back to 2003, I wasn't in a happy place. I'd stopped dancing for about half a year, and when I tried to get back, I was constantly pulling something or tearing something slightly, and football does not complement Highland dancing whatsoever. But that being said, a couple of years ago, I had the notion that I'd like to compete at Canadians, and I started training for Highland dancing, and I noticed that my acceleration was getting better while playing football. So I would say that Highland dancing makes you a better footballer, but football would make you a worse Highland dancer.
I get you.
Yes.
I remember talking with you, I think it was last year, and you were saying that you wanted to
Yeah, my problem is my work with the teams I work with. They have a big university showcase event on the weekend that we have selections in BC. So that kind of put a kibosh to that.
Yeah.
So,
So just kind of to finish up, I was wondering,
yeah.
is there, through Highland dance, how would you say it's impacted your life in general?
I think it's given me discipline, focus, and just determination to meet goals that I've set for myself, or even to help other people achieve their goals.
I've been asking kind of everyone after the interview, is there anyone that they would like to see interviewed? And is there anyone that you would like to see in particular?
I'd like to see interviewed. Oh, there's loads of people that it's neat to see interviewed. Like some of the older, like it'd be neat to see the two Mitchelsons and Gregor Bowman. Like it would definitely be neat to see their perspective. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and giving me some of your time.
You're very welcome, and thank you for doing all these things. It's pretty entertaining.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much to Tony for agreeing to take part. I have more upcoming interviews with dancers suggested by you, so keep an eye out on A Real Insight's social media channels for announcements coming very soon. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.